Hello and welcome to Launerin's Gamer Score and welcome back to Greedfall. This week I'm going to be taking a look at some of the other parts of the game I didn't cover last time. So there will be some minor spoilers to do with the main quest line, characters within the game and other little things. So let's jump right in. We joined Desade in his luxury apartment in New Serene. There are some of his companions around who we are going to ignore. Essentially, in every town in the game you get your own residence where you get your chests so that you can store things, because everything has a weight limit and you can't carry unlimited amount of gear as much as you would like to. There's a fast travel point and there's also a resting point as well, because there are some quest lines that do require you to wait a certain amount of hours, so that's always helpful to have that in there as well. So we're going to take a quick look at the crafting things today. So first things first, we're just going to double check my gear, because it's always good just to carry around some blacksmith's gloves, which will up my craftsmanship by 1 as well. And then I have bumped it up in here as well, so I'm actually crafting at level 3 now with those gloves on. So let's see what we can do. So there are a few different things. At first I thought that when I first found out that you could do this sort of thing in this game, I thought it was mainly going to be cosmetic, but with each change that you make, it alters the cosmetic appearance of your weapon and of your armour, from the hilt and the handguard, on the swords to the actual kind of armour itself, if you're dealing with armour. So we're just going to go through this and have a look to see if we can upgrade this sword a little bit. There we go. If we just pop that guard on it, which will give a little bit more armor damage, which you always want, because you need to break the armor of your opponents before you can really get into damaging them. And then we'll have a look at the pommel as well, and we'll have something on here that increases the physical damage of the weapon, just to kind of keep it nice and even. So there we go, that's now upgraded to do more damage and more armor damage as well as some of the things that the sword will do, like stun your enemies, generate fury and things like that. There are plenty of other things that weaponry does do. Obviously you have the same thing with armour. Like I was saying, it does alter the appearance of your armour quite drastically depending upon how much you put on it, as well as around the neck area as well, which can change quite dramatically. Unfortunately though, I don't have any pure iron ore, so I can't upgrade this anymore. So let's just go and have a look around the first town that you get to after you've made your way through Serene. So after travelling over from Serene, you do find yourself in New Serene. So we'll start off at the docks, giving a brief little kind of introduction to this area. You start off in the docks. There's a few little things to do here when you first get here, so I'm not going to go through those. I'll leave you to find those out for yourself. When you do get here, you should always be aware of symbols on your minimap. So obviously we have the normal merchant. So here you can buy general gear and potions and other equipment that you might find necessary to your adventures. And then you've got various other symbols as well that will point you in the direction of quests and quest objectives. And then round here we have the symbol for the blacksmith. So he will obviously sell you weapons and armor, but he will also, for a price, help you upgrade your equipment, rather than you having to go around and find all of the different parts that you need, different materials that you need in order to upgrade. And he also upgrades things regardless of your craftsmanship, but it does cost you a pretty penny, so it's always a good idea to invest early in the craftsmanship skill and get some blacksmith's gloves, because it'll save you a lot of money in the long run. And then round the corner from the blacksmiths we have the governor's palace, and then because we are fairly close to the governor, we'll try and keep that one under wraps. We have our residence just here, where we have our different companions, where we can make up our team that we go adventuring with. So let's just go and have a look around a couple of other places and talk about some of the other things on offer. Okay, so the fast travel map is fairly simple. You have all of the places that you have been to before highlighted, and you can choose to go to any one of them. We are going to head over to San Mathias, mainly because I have a quest I need to finish over there, so I'll finish this video off and then I'll jump onto that one. What I will do is we'll just go to the south road. A little bit of loading later, it does bring you into this little campsite, which is essentially the game loading the rest of the map in the background to the area where you're trying to go, so that you don't have to wait, and it gives the illusion that the game isn't having to load at all, which I think is quite clever. So obviously here you have access to all of your companions, so you can change your team and swap members out. You have a workbench as well, and you also have a small stall over here as well. I've just been told that the level has finished loading, and so I will continue shortly. However, I'm just going to change my gloves back over first. There we go. So we've got my better gloves back on, and we'll carry on travelling, which means that we won't be on the loading page very long, and it will just send us straight in to here. So let's just have a little look on this map. So there's a little bit more that needs looking into up here. I don't know what this could be, but there's some stuff that's been happening down here as well. So each world map kind of area, if you will, does have there's various of these little outposts that you will come across, but there are also these little campsites that you can set up, which just means that you have access to your chest from your apartment, your residence, access to a workbench, and a fast travel place where you can also sleep and change your companion. Obviously you have to visit each of those individually before you can actually use them, but otherwise you've just got kind of key points that get highlighted. Alright, we've come across some enemies that I can go and let's just go and say hello. There we go. I've generated a kind of new techniques that I can use in battle. So if I just press down, then it'll unbalance my opponent and I will be able to attack and kill it with ease. And that is a special attack that I have learned through leveling up and things as well, which is a special kind of area of effect thing, which is always helpful when you're surrounded by enemies. And now we've made our way into San Mathias. They obviously have a merchant here as well, but this is basically the main square, and they are essentially an incredibly religious order here, who believe in essentially torturing the beasts that are around this area.
Nothing. It's all. Remember that the enlightened.
And they're not my biggest fans right now. So yeah, that's about all for this week. I'm going to go and complete the quest now. I don't want to ruin this game too much for people that haven't played it, and I don't think there's much else that I can say about it now. I think I've covered it. I've talked about how in my previous video I talked about the different skills and which skill trees to go down if you're just starting out, things that you might need to know there. Obviously you've got different weapon choices and things like that, but I can't really comment on that since I've only actually used the swords and pistols at this point, so I can't comment on the different fighting styles right now. And then of course you've got your different companions, and they do have branching storylines, and depending upon how much time you spend with them depends upon whether you get to do their personal quest line kind of thing, which increases your relationship with them, which is a lot of fun I've found. So, and then this week I've talked briefly about some different skills that become available later on in the game, which I've started to unlock now, as well as all of the different companions that you get, although I haven't introduced them because I don't want to kind of spoil it in that way, as well as some of the other locations that you get to go to. At the moment I'm still quite early on in the game, I think, so any spoilers that there have been or anything you have seen in this video is fairly early on, so it's not too much of a spoiler, but I'm going to go and play a little now. So thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.